We all know that Gojo is one of the most important characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, and there's no way Gege will permanently kill him off. The guy is coming back very soon, and in this video we'll give you a rough idea of when that might happen. This video could be the answer to your never-ending question of if Gojo will be back. It's very interesting how everyone is obsessed with the if Gojo is coming back, not the when Gojo will be back. The question everyone should be asking isn't if Gojo will be back, but when. Many people are focused on the if, but Gege has already given us hints about Gojo's comeback, so it's not a matter of if, but when he would be back. Everything we are sharing is not something we guessed. It's based on information we've gathered from the Shibuya incident up until now. Using all the clues Gege has provided, we have a rough idea of when Gojo will return. We strongly believe this is what Gege is planning. There's no other way around it. Before we get into the main details, let's clarify something. Many people believe Gojo will return during the culling games. Nothing wrong with believing that Gojo will be back in the culling game, but if you look at the bigger picture, if Gojo were to return during the culling game, then we could say goodbye to Sukuna, goodbye to Yuji's domain expansion, and goodbye to the whole series in general. Good news is that this isn't Gojo's story. He's not the main character, so makes sense why he won't take the spotlight by coming back in the culling games, allowing for Sukuna to kill everyone and move on to the next big event within the series, which is the Tengen merger. Sukuna killing everyone may seem like bad news, but in actual fact, it is good news. And this is because we won't be stuck in the culling game for the next 50 chapters, and can finally move on to the next big event. With that out of the way, let's focus on the most important part of the video, and that is when Gojo will be back. We know that Tengen and the Six Eyes are connected by fate, meaning if one is around, the other must also be present. However, when Tengen is removed from the picture, the Six Eyes won't be needed anymore. The main function of the Six Eyes was to aid in Tengen's merger with the Star Plasma Vessel, which explains why they are all interconnected by fate. It makes sense that when Tengen disappears, the Six Eyes will no longer be necessary, fitting perfectly with the story's progression. Gege has been doing a lot of foreshadowing about Gojo losing one of his eyes, and this is because it's happening. Gege is hinting that Gojo will go through a rebirth or transformation. Essentially, he will lose his six eyes. For Gojo to come back anew, he needs to let go of his six eyes. So it makes absolute sense that Gojo will return after Tengen's merger, as the six eyes will no longer be needed once Tengen is gone. This allows Gojo to release his six eyes, as they will no longer be necessary for JJK due to Tengen's disappearance. If Tengen were still around, it would be impossible to remove the six eyes since they are connected by fate. Both the six eyes and Tengen must be in the same picture. If one disappears, the other will also disappear. It's like baking a cake. Flour and baking soda are connected by fate. They both have to be in the same picture for the cake to happen. If one is missing, then the others won't be needed, as you won't be able to bake the cake without the flour. This perfectly explains why Gojo could not be around before the merger, as it would disrupt everything. The fact that he will lose an eye also means that Tengen has to be out of the picture. Remember, if one is gone, then the other two will no longer be needed. If Tengen is gone, the Star Plasma Vessel and Six Eyes will no longer exist, as they are all connected by fate. Gege wasn't the only one aware of this. Kenjaku also knew that Gojo could only return after the merger and in the New World. That's why, during the Shibuya incident, he mentioned that he would see Gojo in the New World. The New World emerges after Tengen is removed, as Tengen's presence signifies that JJK is still in the Old World. The Old World is where the star god Tengen exists. Gege intends to remove Tengen so that a new world can be created without a godlike Tengen. However, Kenjaku wasn't as intelligent as Gege. Gege has peak intelligence, and the reason why we say this is because if Gojo was unsealed in the New World, like how Kenjaku planned it to be, it would mean that Gojo would still have his six eyes. Gojo having his six eyes in the New World would make no sense, since Tengen would be out of the picture. Therefore, for the narrative to align, Gojo must lose his six eyes when Tengen is no longer present. That's why Gege had to devise a way to kill off Gojo in the culling games. This event provided a reason for Gojo to lose his six eyes. If Gojo had remained sealed until the New World, and then been unsealed with his six eyes, it wouldn't make sense, given the fate connection between Tengen and the six eyes. Therefore, Gege had to remove Gojo temporarily and reintroduce him after the merger without the six eyes. This aligns with the storyline and the fact that with Tengen out of the picture, the six eyes must also be out of the picture. So we can expect Gojo to return right after Tengen has been removed, allowing him to come back without the six eyes. Now, the question most people have is why Kenjaku is so obsessed with killing off Tengen. The thing is, Kenjaku is not obsessed in Tengen herself, but rather in her pure barriers. Tengen's barriers are crucial to the Jujutsu world. Without her barriers, sorcerers would be weaker than ever, and Jujutsu society would not exist. Tengen's barriers are also what make Japanese sorcerers the strongest in the world. This explains why we don't see any other strong sorcerers sorcerers in other parts of the world, only in Japan. Tengen's barriers optimize cursed energy, which is their main function. Kenjaku's main goal is to optimize cursed energy even further by merging humans with Tengen. This merger will lead to the birth of an all-powerful cursed spirit. Kenjaku needs Tengen's barriers during the merging period because these barriers will amplify the cursed energy levels, making the resulting beast even stronger. This explains why Tengen was surprised by Kenjaku's roundabout behavior. Instead of creating a new rule to kill everyone and end the culling game, Kenjaku could easily remove the barriers, which would also terminate the merger. However, Kenjaku's genius lies in his desire to maximize cursed energy. By allowing the culling game to continue and killing off participants, more cursed energy is released. The barriers then optimize this released cursed energy, aiding in Sukuna's merger and enhancing the strength of the resulting Tengen beast. Without the barriers, cursed energy wouldn't be optimized, and the beast wouldn't reach its full potential. Consequently, Kenjaku's strategy involves using the barriers to their fullest extent to ensure the creation of the most powerful cursed spirit possible. So technically, Kenjaku wants the final cursed spirit to be stronger than Sukuna. He seems like a crazy scientist, but wait till you hear this. The merger will create immense chaos, something Kenjaku knew and wanted to see happen. Chaos during the merger is beneficial, as Kenjaku understands that chaos is a prerequisite for order. As a scientist, Kenjaku knows that chaos leads to order. That is why he desires to create an extraordinary amount of chaos using Sukuna. Sukuna will merge humanity with Tengen, increasing the level of chaos in Japan. However, Kenjaku isn't stupid. He built a solution to the problem. Every problem always has its solution, so Kenjaku, being a genius, decides to create Yuji to destroy the beast in the merger. Yuji is the one who will bring order and create a new world by killing the Tengen beast. This makes sense because Yuji and Sukuna are opposites, each representing a different world. Makes sense that Yuji will be the one who will remove the chaos from the world, and that is by killing Tengen. Sukuna creates the chaos, Yuji creates the order, both opposites of the same coin. The removal of Tengen will have a profound impact on Japan, as her barriers will also be gone. Tengen's barriers primarily function to optimize cursed energy levels, so their removal will lead to the de-optimization of CE. This de-optimization will result in sorcerers becoming weaker than ever, curses also weakening, and the entire Jujutsu world changing permanently. Strong curses typically arise alongside strong sorcerers, so the weakening of sorcerers will lead to weaker curses. Unlike Yuki, who desires a world without curses, Kenjaku envisions a world where both curses and sorcerers can coexist. Yuki's ideal is impossible, because curses will always be born from humans, and humans will always exist. Therefore, Kenjaku's dream is arguably the best one for humanity. By allowing sorcerers and curses to exist together in a weakened state, the world becomes more balanced. We won't see powerful and dangerous curses like Mahito and Hanami, only harmless ones. This balance could lead to a more stable and manageable coexistence between humans and curses. So Kenjaku may be painted as a villain, but he is, in a way, a low-key good guy. He had to act like a villain to gain the trust of the curses and enlist Sukuna's help for his plans, particularly for the merger. Without Sukuna's assistance, Kenjaku's plan would have failed, as Gojo would have been around to stop him. Sukuna is the main driving force of the entire series. Without him, Jujutsu Kaisen wouldn't be the same. We can't deny that Kenjaku committed many evil and unforgivable acts, but they were all essential for the greater good. He probably wanted to end the constant wars between curses and sorcerers, removing Tengen's barriers, and the only way he could do this was to remove all the obstacles in the one, the main one being the Six Eyes. Although Tengen is a good person, her barriers are a double-edged sword. They allowed strong sorcerers to exist, but they also made curses stronger. Her barriers have many functions, but their main one is optimizing CE levels in Japan. Once her barriers are removed, CE levels in Japan will be the same as the rest of the world, freeing Japan from strong curses and sorcerers. While it might seem like sad news, it means that sorcerers in Japan will no longer suffer as they have. Sorcerers in Japan were strong, but endured a lot of hardships. Gojo, the strongest sorcerer, went through immense struggles, as did Megumi, Yuta, and Geto. This change might bring a new era where sorcerers no longer have to bear such heavy burdens. This new world will benefit not only humans, but also sorcerers like Gojo. Gojo won't be the only one making sacrifices. We can expect others like Higuruma, Nobara, Yuta, and many others to participate and sacrifice something significant. Yuji might even have to sacrifice his curse technique, but in a world where curses are weaker, there's less need for CTs. Sacrificing CTs for a better life makes sense in this new context. This shift implies a more balanced and peaceful world, where the burdens on sorcerers are greatly reduced, and the threat of powerful curses is minimized. The sacrifices made by these characters will help create a new era, benefiting both humans and sorcerers alike. Everything I've shared indicate that Tengen was the cause of much of the chaos in Japan, largely due to her barriers. This is why Kenjaku told Yuki and Choso that it was their fault for trusting Tengen. He is not someone to be trusted, and has shown a lot of contradictory behavior throughout the series. One major example is her holding onto Sukuna's vessel within her pure barriers. No one knew knew this, but Tengen's decision to keep Sukuna's vessel in her barriers is a very strange move for someone as holy and good as Tengen. Sukuna is a mass murderer, so holding on to someone's unholy vessel speaks volumes. She seems to have some form of association with Sukuna, but the exact nature of this relationship is still unclear. Kenjaku was aware of this, and he too had some association with her as he called her friend, but he knew that she was hiding something from everyone, and we will probably find out what exactly she is hiding from everyone in the future chapters. Even though we know that Gojo's comeback is definitely after the merger, we will keep it as a strong, valid theory for now. Hopefully you learned a lot from this video. For now, see you next time.